I think we've all been sold the iPad dream. You know, the minimalist setup with the iPad, Magic Keyboard, and Apple Pencil. That looks like you're about to get in a 10-hour study session at the cafe. However, I learned the hard way that just because a device can do everything doesn't mean it should. So I switched to the iPad as my main school laptop for a month. But this isn't my first time. I remember vividly using a Samsung Tab S6 and absolutely hating it. So, will I have the same experience? But first, I can see why everybody is hyping up the iPad. The iPad Pro and Air come with the insanely powerful M-series chips found in MacBooks, making them on paper just as strong with single core use. The iPad Pro even has a 120Hz OLED panel, which is arguably better than the mini LED screen found in the MacBook Pro. Not only that, but you get access to the insanely powerful Apple Pencil Pro, which just unlocks so many creative possibilities and is just so powerful for note-taking. You can condense all of your notes into such a small machine while being able to download any canvas to write on. I found iPads to be insane for my linear algebra class, as I can just download my class notes directly on my iPad and be able to write on them while listening to the lecture. It saves me so much time not having to write the title and diagrams that I have on my notes. And then Apple dropped a bomb with the release of iPadOS 26, which finally brought a Mac-like desktop experience to the iPad, allowing you to open, freely resize, and manage multiple app windows on screen at the same time. You even now have menu bars and traditional bubbles that look exactly the same as a MacBook, and a revamped Files app that made the annoying file organization feel like a MacBook. So then, why would anybody buy a MacBook when you can now even have desktop apps on iPads? Did Apple really just kill its MacBook line and made the iPad the best all-in-one device? Well, I started to do my usual tasks in school, load up my research paper with 15 to 20 tabs, Canvas, assignments, and YouTube. And at first, the iPad was amazing. It felt better than my MacBook because a touchscreen felt so much faster than a trackpad for browsing. And to be more efficient, I even used Safari as my main browser. But that's where the iPad experience started to fall. Even though my iPad Air has the same exact specs as my MacBook Air M1, I noticed how iPadOS was so aggressive with efficiency like an iPhone. Because it's prioritizing battery life, it will silently freeze your background tabs. When you click back to a tab you needed, the page completely reloads, and you lose your scroll position and any unsaved form data, which was annoying because I kept losing my position of a data statistic I needed for my research paper. And speaking of switching tabs and applications, this is where I hated my iPad the most. Using it on the browser constantly reminds you that you should be using the app. On a computer, the desktop browser is a powerful centralized hub. You can open 30 tabs of YouTube, Canvas, Google Docs, and Reddit, and they all live in one window. On an iPad, developers want you to be on their apps because it gives them more control, better performance, and direct notification access. You'll be constantly bombarded with banners screaming, "This page looks better in the app." Open app? It breaks your workflow and feels incredibly clunky. If you give in and download the app, you lose the seamless experience of just hitting the next tab. Instead of switching tabs, you are now switching entirely to a different application. It shatters the feeling of a unified workspace. I know switching apps may sound minute, but when you're constantly switching between tabs and applications, for a large research project that requires 30 things open, it gets annoying really fast. Especially when you want to have multiple YouTube videos open, multiple Canvas assignments open, and just multiple things for your applications. You really can't do that on an iPad. And speaking of apps, they are still just iPad apps. What I mean by this is that it still has to work for people who don't have a Magic Keyboard, while also working for people who do have the Magic Keyboard. Basically, it's nowhere the same as the MacBook app. Everything is forced to be simplified, like DaVinci Resolve. On iPad, it is primarily focused for fast cuts and color grading, and it is difficult to use for highly complex edits, as it lacks some advanced modules. You don't have the Fusion page or the Fairlight page either. And I get that most of these apps are free compared to MacBook apps that are not free sometimes. But even comparing the free versions of both apps, it is still not the same. For example, the desktop Resolve relies on condensed drop-down menus and hundreds of custom keyboard shortcuts. While to make it work on a touchscreen, Blackmagic had to simplify the UI, hide advanced settings under submenus, and make buttons larger so a human finger can hit them. This slows down professional editors who rely on muscle memory. Sure, you may be able to get your core edits done, but any real work for long-term use is just way worse. And we're not even talking about professional work. This applies to Google Docs as well. I hate using Google Docs a few years ago on my Samsung Tab, and it's still the same. You are just way slower using Google Docs on an iPad, no matter how long you try to get used to it. Everything is hidden behind so much UI, which makes it way more confusing and takes way longer to do the same task. And any student, especially those in high school and middle school, should know how much work you have to do on Google Docs and slides. And by the way, a lot of this doesn't even just come from me. Literally everybody at my school says the same thing. Recently, schools in my area have completely switched to iPads, and all my friends and schoolmates hate using it compared to the old Chromebooks. It slows things down and feels more clunky. And the craziest part is, a lot of people think iPadOS 26 fixed all of this, because on the surface, it really looked like it did. Apple gave us freely resizable windows, window snapping, traditional menu bars, and navigation bubbles that make it look identical to a MacBook. But once you try to work under pressure, you realize Apple just used a desktop coat of paint over a mobile operating system, because underneath those fancy resizable windows, the sandbox foundational limits are still the same. Take window management, for example. Yeah, Stage Manager now lets you drag windows around, but it still forces them onto a rigid, invisible grid system. If you try to precisely tuck your Google Docs next to a PDF, the system will violently snap the windows around, scale down your text so small that you can't even read it, or straight up minimize one of your active workspaces. On a Mac, window management is so seamless. On iPadOS 26, you spend more time finding the layout grid than actually reading your assignment. Software-wise, iPads are just so limited that the insane hardware that Apple has given them is just completely useless. But even outside the software in iPadOS, iPads are still flawed hardware-wise and economically. Let's just say you want to match the latest MacBook Air M5 or M4 to make it even. So you go out and buy a 512GB iPad Air M4 and upgrade to the 13-inch model just so that it can be the same as a MacBook Air. You just spend the same amount of $1,100. So at least it's even. Well, guess what? To type, you need to go out and buy a Magic Keyboard for an extra
$300.
But wait, you're using an iPad, which means the main feature is to write on it. So you go out and buy an Apple Pencil for an extra $129. And even with the Magic Keyboard, they only just fixed the experience to match the MacBook with the latest model. But even so, all the models lack the same ergonomics of a MacBook. By design, this combo of iPad and Magic Keyboard is so top-heavy that it is really awkward to use on your lap or uneven surfaces. It just doesn't have the same light and seamless experience of a MacBook Air that can be used everywhere to do work. To put that into perspective, it would be cheaper if you didn't do all your big tasks on the iPad, moved it away to a MacBook, and just buy the cheapest iPad to do note-taking and iPad tasks. So your main schoolwork is on a MacBook and all your iPad tasks is on an iPad. And this combo will still be cheaper than a full iPad, Magic Keyboard, and Apple Pencil setup. Hell, you can even save more money if you just bought a 512GB MacBook Neo and the 11th gen iPad, because even though the Neo may have weaker specs, by it just having macOS, you will still be able to do more work than a spec'd out iPad with iPadOS. You're just so limited by the software of the iPad that the hardware of the iPad shouldn't even be an issue you should worry about. I can only see this being an economically smart choice if you already have an iPad and Apple Pencil, and you can just get an old Magic Keyboard or even a Magic Keyboard alternative. But going to the Apple Store now and buying this iPad combo just makes no sense to me. So who's the setup even for? It's really for people who love their iPads right now and do a majority of their tasks on it already with a pen and just needed a keyboard for some quick tasks like emails and other things. It is not, however, for people who want an iPad and laptop at the same time. An iPad will always just be an iPad, unless Apple is trying to kill their MacBooks, which we all know they're not doing. The saying goes the same: jack of all trades, master of none. My month with the iPad is officially over, and my new MacBook is finally arriving. I learned my lesson. The iPad is going right back into my bag, not as my primary computer, but exactly what it was always brilliant at being: a really good notebook and content consuming device.